Hello, Local 304. It's time for our updates, our weekly updates. I know we're not as timely as we were not as timely last week, but we're getting better now. It is Friday afternoon. Kind of give you an update of what's happened this week in 304. So let's just jump right into. We had the AFL-CIO Community Services Conference late this week, and so 304 had a couple of delegates there. All told, there were almost 80 delegates from all the different local unions around northeast Kansas and a few out of the Wichita area also. So in case you've never been to one of those or heard anything about them, what they're all about is showcasing what the community offers in the way of safety nets for members who have financial problems or marital problems, or problems in general. There are outreach opportunities there. I had some really eye-opening presentations done by Barry Feeker, for example, out of the rescue mission, and some of the stuff that they see there, and a lot of stuff about kids. A lot about how we make sure that our kids are brought up in an environment that is best for them in education and opportunities for success in the future. Some child advocacy groups were there, and then also unions getting up and giving presentations about what they do for the community. And so, of course, I touted 304 and in the volunteer efforts that we have. And I know a lot of you out in the communities will do things that we have no idea happens. As a matter of fact, Todd Daniels got up today and spoke about Heroes on the Water, and how I think it was around 42,000 vets that have gone through the program where they get out and do some hunting and fishing and trying to help work through some of the PTSD issues. Also, Todd does a lot with kids, youth hunts, and those kinds of things. And so kids no younger than 12 and no older than 18, but really between the 12 and 16, so you don't have a hunter's license yet. So getting them out, especially kids that didn't grow up in the environment that allowed them to be exposed to that kind of activity. So lots of good work going on by our local 304 members and other unions throughout this part of the state. So if you're involved in voluntary activities, why, keep it up and supporting our community, and that's what it's all about. Because if we get into a position where we're going to be painting signs for some reason, why, we're going to need the community support also. So let's be proactive in that. Organizing continues. We're going to really push hard, continue to push hard on line clearance, but now also push hard on north of Grumman and do some internal organizing there. That large committee is going to meet next week to go through the proposals for the upcoming contract. This is a rebid year for the corporations to the post office, so that means that we have to get a contract settled before that happens. So we'll be meeting earlier this year. So the committee, large committee, meets next week, and we can go through the proposals and see what actually goes to the table. So again, your organizer David Galvin, the international organizer Chad Manspeaker, along with company members will be out and about and trying to make those things happen. Lion Coffee, Radiant, both rural electric cooperatives under local 304 contracts, are merging, and so the new company will be called Four Rivers, and it will be effective 1st of 2020. But they're being proactive and want to meet with local union leadership early and do a meet and greet kind of thing and talk about the logistics of bringing those contracts together. So we're really excited about that. That's an opportunity to, anytime we're going to negotiations, it's a great opportunity to have a voice in your wages, working conditions, and this is an opportunity to take two contracts to bring them together to make one. So lots of great opportunities there. Really looking forward to it. Principal Financial came up and gave a presentation there at the conference at my urging, and so I wanted to bring that up to you guys again, because that's such a great opportunity that we have in involving a financial analyst into helping you make decisions on retirement. And it doesn't have to mean that you're ready to retire. It can be right now in how you're investing your money. He gave some pretty shocking figures, like folks age 41 to 56 only having about 196,000 on average in their savings. And when you look at longevity, we had IBEW's longevity is up to around 81 years. So if you want to have enough money to live financially sound in your retirement, now is the time to start thinking about that. So we hold regular meetings here at the local union hall with Principal Financial to come in and talk. There is no fees for their services. Had lots of our members use them in making those one-time decisions in retirement. And for Westar, this is a perfect time, because now having that lump sum option, you should really know what that looks like and have a deep conversation about it, because if you don't want to outlive your money, right? You want to be financially secure in retirement. So I urge you to watch for that and reach out to the hall if you want to get a contact information for them. That's the other thing that they'll do, is they'll meet with you anywhere, anytime. So also this week we got the opening letter out to Sunflower. We've already got dates set in August for that negotiations to start, and Wheatland opening letters ready to go out. So got several more negotiations getting ready to kick off. While we're talking about negotiations, we did have our first impact bargaining last week with Westar on the safety issues, both FR clothing and safety toe boots and prescription eyewear. And right now it's wide open, just really talking about continuing along the path that we do for those that now get FR clothing. And then, as you know, Westar gets prescription eyewear every 2 years, one pair every 2 years. And so now we're looking at changing that frequency, getting it to you much earlier. So more to come. Next Thursday, the 27th, I believe is the day we meet again. I've asked for some safety metric information. Obviously, we know that FR clothing is driven by the OSHA requirements for arc hazard. And so obviously there were studies done in order to know what calorie you needed to wear. And so I know there's some dust studies that are going on in power plants. And so we need that information to know what kind of requirements we're going to be dealing with, so we'll know, based on your opinion, if you want to continue with the allotment style or if an allowance would work better. The only thing that I know so far about the difference between allotment and allowance is just more in your control about what you're going to get when it is allowance, more in the company's control for what they give you in an allotment. So Cigna issues are still continuing with Westar, so I did ask for some reports, some information regarding some of the things that you've been sharing with us. So remember, Cigna issues at IBEW304.org. Keep us informed of what's going on as you're working with the company and Cigna in order to get those issues taken care of. I know I keep saying this every week, but it's important to realize that consumer-driven healthcare is kind of the punishment I think they're putting on us, and so that means you need to be more proactive with your health providers and getting that information. And if there's a denial, then it's the appeals process goes through your medical information through your doctor. So you need to push your doctor to be taking the time to do those things. The information technology workshare program, where we're looking at Wolf Creek, Legacy Westar and Legacy KCPL, and bringing all those work groups together to be able to share work and making sure that we can still capture the bargaining unit, and not eroding it and still allowing it to grow. So getting close on that agreement to get signed off on. Schedule 3 for the work share into the Kansas City metro area. Still had some questions raised by the members that I'm trying to get responses to before we move forward with that. So stay tuned for more information on that. And as always, while I stay in touch with your union, the more that you communicate through your stewards, through the hall, the better we'll be. So I appreciate your time, and y'all have a good weekend, and I'll talk to you next week.